We're good.
Okay, so we wrote SOH-CAH-TOA down the left. These are the ratios. The sine equals, and I'm going to teach you what this all means, but for today, we are just going to learn the ratios, and this is all about right triangles, and basically, it's saying that if a right triangle has a side of a certain length, or a hypotenuse of a certain length, or an angle of a certain degrees, we should be able to figure out the exact measurements of the sides and angles and everything, but here's how it all works. Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, and this is why we did this, because SOH. So S is here, the O is there, and the H is there. You guys do know what hypotenuses are now, and we'll go over the opposites and stuff like that, okay? So S equals O over H. C stands for cosine. And this says A over H. The A stands for adjacent. Does anyone remember another word what it means the same as adjacent?
Congruent.
Congruent? No. It's more like next to, or right next to, or sharing some sort of side. I do remember I taught you guys about, like, if you have a roommate or a neighbor that's in an adjacent room, you're sharing a wall. Hypotenuse. Okay. And the T stands for tangent. That is T-A-N-G-E-N-T. And the T and the O and the A, it's the same sort of thing. The O stands for opposite divided by the adjacent. And they invented this acronym so it's easy for you to remember. So the C equals the A over the H, which is right here, and the T equals the O divided by the A. So make sure you get all of this, and it'll make a little bit more sense when we do the bottom half of this notes page. So you let me know when you got all this, and keep your little fake diet handy. I'm gonna get mine out.
This is me.
Yes.
This is not a math question, but when we get out the 15th?
We do get out the 15th of June. Can I move on, people?
Yes.
Yep, okay. So, I want you to write, give the ratio for, and here's how I want you to set this up. I want you to draw like a larger right triangle on this side that looks like this. Okay. And I'm going to name these angles V, T, and U. And I'm going to assign these sides 3 values that are 3 units in length, 4 units in length, and 5 units in length. So take your dime and put it over on top of the V. So I'm gonna put my dime right there. And I'm gonna take a quick peek at what the ratio is. I think that S for the SO is S equals O over H, which is right there. So I'm just gonna write opposite over hypotenuse. And from here, if I'm sitting on the dime and I'm looking, one of these sides is the opposite of the dime, and the other one is the hypotenuse of the right triangle. The hypotenuse is never ever going to change, and I feel like you guys know which one the hypotenuse is, right? Like we've done this in the last unit. Hayden, which one's the hypotenuse of this triangle? 3, 4, or 5? Thank you, you're correct. So that is always going to be the hypotenuse. And Jenny, which one is the opposite side of the dime? Is it 4 or is it 3? Opposite means across.
3.
3, you're correct. 4 is adjacent. Adjacent means next to. So no matter which side the dime goes, the ones that are next to the dime that are not the hypotenuse are going to be the adjacent side. So this one, we're looking across opposite. So the ratio is 3/5. Okay. We're going to move on to here, and I'm going to put what is the sine ratio for angle T. I'm going to move my dime down over the T. It's the same ratio, which is the opposite over the hypotenuse. One of these values is going to be the same. One of them is going to be different. Ask me, which one's always going to be the same?
5.
The 5. So the hypotenuse for this triangle is never ever going to change. So we are putting the 5 underneath. This time the opposite changed. What's the opposite?
It's 4.
It's 4. Opposites across. We can't screw this up and say it's the 5 because the 5 is hypotenuse. Opposite of the dime is the 4. I'm putting the 4 right there. Put your dimes up. We're going to do the cosine tangent. I want the cosine ratio of angle V and the cosine of angle T. Okay, so we got the so. This is the CAH. CAH is spelled C-A-H, and that means the C equals the A over the H. The A means adjacent. The H means hypotenuse. I'm going to write that twice. The A means adjacent. The H means hypotenuse. I'm taking my dime back. I want you to, after you get this down, take your dime and place it on the V again. This time we have to figure out what the adjacent is and what the hypotenuse is of or in relation to angle V. Adjacent means next to. Hayden, which one of these is next to? 4, 5, or 3? Which one is adjacent to the dime? 4. Why isn't it 5? You're right, because 5 is a hypotenuse. So this ratio is 4 over, he just said the 5 is a hypotenuse, so I'm going to keep it the 5 right there. It's always going to be the 5 no matter what. That also means that if I jump across here to the T, the 5 is going to come down as the hypotenuse. This time the adjacent's different. Go ahead.
3.
The adjacent's 3. What's another word for adjacent?
Next to.
Next to, actually 2 words. So 3 is right here. That's our ratio, okay? So the dimes just help us look at it, and it's just how I teach it at the very beginning, and it just makes a little bit more sense, okay? I'm going to continue my notes on this sheet right here. If yours fits on the same page, leave it on the same page, okay? The final one is the tangent ratio. Let's see, SO is here, SOH, CAH is here, CAH, TOA is T equals O over A, where the O is the hypotenuse and the A is the adjacent. So the tangent ratio, and I'm gonna do the same thing of angle V, OA, that's opposite over adjacent, and the same thing of angle T equals opposite or adjacent. So I want you to take your dime and place it on both, the V and the T, and this time you give me the opposite and adjacent for both of these with the 3, the 4, or the 5. We're on V? Okay, yeah. I am on V. I'll await your input. Who can give me the opposite over the adjacent for my dime up on V? Go ahead.
3/4.
So she's right. The opposite of angle V or the dime is 3. And the adjacent is next to it, which is 4. And who wants to give me the last ratio when I put my dime over the T down here? What's the last ratio? Someone besides Jenny in the back.
3/5.
Opposite is,
Oh yeah.
which one? Is the opposite the 3 or the 4?
Yeah. So 4/3.
It's 4, and the adjacent, you're right, is 3, okay? So, in reality, we may have to, in the future, actually divide these and look at a chart and this and that, but today, we're only gonna get used to spitting out the ratios and writing the correct little fraction with the sides, okay? That concludes my lesson on SOH-CAH-TOA and trigonometric ratios. Those of you people who are absent, who are getting this email and this YouTube link, you are to take the notes, find a dime in your couch, and you have to do these notes and you have to try. Okay? Happy Monday.
When's they gonna watch it?
They have to watch it and they have to like the video and comment on my video.
Make them explain what happened in this lesson.
Exactly. I'm going to quiz you and make you explain what happened in the lesson.